Hello, viewers. Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. A very busy couple of days, hasn't it been? Of course, there has been the bombshell announcement that Trump would cut funding to the World Health Organization. About 3 weeks ago, I think in one of my readings, it might have been earlier than that, I thought he might start attacking the WHO. What I didn't think or contemplate was that he would cut funding, which is absolutely diabolical in the middle of a pandemic. I've taken a look at some of the timelines for that. The WHO met, it was informed by China during January, but it had a meeting on the 23rd of January and issued this advice, I guess. It is expected further international exportations of cases may appear in any countries. All countries, this is 23rd of January, all countries should be prepared for containment, active surveillance, early detection, isolation, case management, contact tracing, and prevention of onward spread of the virus. The US didn't close its borders until around the third week in March. Australia didn't close its borders until the 20th of March. Now, the attack seems to, on the World Health Organization, I want to spend a bit of time on this. The attack seems to concentrate on the WHO urging balanced action on the 3rd of February without closing borders, combined with the containment measures so as to limit impact on economies. That was on the 3rd of February, although it had declared a global emergency on the 31st of January. The WHO isn't in charge. Let me make this clear. The WHO is not in charge of closing borders. That is up to individual governments. In fact, it didn't issue, as far as I can see, any notifications or advice on borders other than the leader or the head of WHO expressing that opinion within a meeting on the 3rd of February. Let's use these tough containment measures first. That was not and of course the media ran with that. But then another 1.5 months went by without countries necessarily adopting those very, very stringent containment measures that the WHO recommended on the 23rd of January. No temperature checks at airports, no quarantining, and no closing of borders. Now, for political expediency, the US and other countries, including Australia, are now taking the WHO to task. Australia has not said it will withdraw make funding. I hope they don't. And I do hope that something is done to keep the funding intact, US funding intact. Make no mistake, this is a political move and it will cost third world countries. And if it's going to cost third world countries, it will cost us all. Because unless we can take a global management of this virus, then it will be with us for a long time. Not to mention the damage, the death that it would cause. For example, WHO is working with UNICEF on a pandemic response in the third world countries. Some couple of $100 million has been earmarked for that program. Will that be affected? I don't know. But I do know that the governments that didn't adopt those strict containment measures early on are now looking to shaft the blame to the World Health Organization. All right. Yes, you can see that I am quite upset because I have worked in the past on research. I know what the WHO does. I know how it is involved in responding to not just virus outbreaks, Ebola, containing Ebola so that it doesn't reach our shores, but also what occurs in natural disasters. Wherever the health of the world's population is threatened, that's where WHO is. Now, WHO is also doing very important critical work coordinating the vaccine as well. It is where our science is based. So again, we see this approach, this knee-jerk reaction against the scientists, against the objective information. So I better get on to the cards because that's a pretty long, that's me on my soapbox. But let's just take a look at whether or not this funding will be cut to the WHO, or whether Pelosi and her team in the US can do something about this. Of course, you've just got such a history of obstruction there, it's quite possible that they won't be able to stop it. But let's have a look. Will funding be cut to the WHO? Will funding be cut to the WHO? Will funding be cut to the WHO? All right, I'm using my spellcaster deck for those that are asking. I've got the Six of Pentacles, which is giving and receiving assistance. That is the signifier card. What is the challenge there? Disappointment. Okay, so I think all governments at one level are looking, not just looking for the blame, I guess, but it's almost like they are children walking in a fog wanting someone to lead. So they're abdicating their own responsibility to lead. And that is manifesting in disappointment. So that disappointment is is influencing how much they're going to assist others. So in a way, this is like cutting off the nose to spite the face. This is an emotional decision as well as a political decision. Okay, so the Two of Swords is the foundation of the reading. We are at a crossroads. We do have these heavy emotional political forces weighing upon us. What are we going to do? Which way are we going to go? Do we stop assisting those in need? Of course, any right-thinking, fair-minded person would say you do not cut funding in the middle of a pandemic if there are any if a review and evaluation is needed. And if you go onto the WHO's site, you will see plenty of evaluations there. If this is needed, you do it post-event. And while we're at it, let's take a look at our own government's responses and see where things could have been improved as well. So in the past, we have the King of Cups. Now that's interesting because I think that people do not want to see third world countries abandoned in the time of a pandemic. In the crowning this reading, we have the Eight of Wands, and that is things coming very, very quickly. This is a rapidly evolving situation. We have the Magician in the near future. Interesting. With the King of Cups, I'm more liable to think that funding won't be stopped to the WHO. We do have at present though this being wounded, this illness, the toll that the virus has taken, and we do have the Tower in the environment. So this again is influencing this. I guess blaming the politics, but also the emotions as well, where leaders are looking for the WHO, the World Health Organization, to say close your borders. I don't think that's the WHO's role. If anything, the leader of WHO probably should have not. In hindsight, probably should have said nothing in that meeting around on the 3rd of February because he then became vulnerable. But this isn't the WHO's role to suggest closing of borders. All right, so we do have the Hierophant card that government that a higher source will prevail. So again, at its bleakest, where leaders are weak, you're going to see them looking for this higher source, this higher leadership. It is an abdication of their responsibility at the end of the day. We do have loss here, which is the outcome card. So I feel, let's see what's clarifying. 7 of Wands, defending oneself, standing one's ground, and we do have strength and endurance. So what I feel is that, let me draw a clarifier. I'll draw a clarifier on that because that can go either way. That's loss saying that the WHO won't get its funding, but it's clarified by the defence card and the strength and endurance card. So I feel that the decision to cut the funding will be strenuously fought. At the basis here, we have the wish card, the miracle card. It's like, can you just wave a magic wand with this 3 of Swords and make it all go away? But this is tying it back to Donald Trump's loss here. There's something else behind this move with the Moon card and the Queen of Cups here. Something else that is motivating this decision, which has nothing to do with whether or not the WHO should get its funding or not. There's something else there that is motivating Donald Trump, and it's being hidden from our view. So let's take a look at what that is. Show me why he's made this decision. Well, apart from, the blame game, the scapegoating. Show me why. Let's just give these another shuffle. Show me why Trump has made this decision. Show me why Trump has made this decision. Show me why. Something is falling out. We do have the Queen of Cups revelation. What's going on here? Show me why Trump has made this decision. My intuition is pulling toward wanting to use that money for something else. Perhaps something that he may have missed, or perhaps something that has slipped through his fingers to cover some sort of mistake. Let's have a look. Why has Trump withdrawn this funding? Okay, so we've got the Hierophant, we've got the government. Does he really want to pick this fight? And we've got the 8 of Cups loss. So now we're getting some clarity on what those outcome cards meant. He doesn't want it. This is tied with the election. This is trying to pick a fight with the government, I feel. We've got High Priestess here, so we've got something that is hidden from our view as the foundation of the reading. The Queen of Wands, the Democratic card. Is this more of his bigger, this division? Is this division with a capital D, which is destructive? The Ace of Wands in the sky. It's a new plan. It's a new project. 3 of Wands. Okay. 3 of Wands. This is expansion. This is wanting him to break out of what is restraining him. This is waiting for his ship to come in. If I see the Russian card here, 2 of Wands, it is a plan. It is a plan that matures in time. It's also playing the waiting game. The environment around here is lost. Whatever is underlying this decision, it is to make up for a loss that has occurred. The 10 of Pentacles in the hopes and fears. That is my card for his business. Justice. We've got justice here. What is this? And the Ace of Cups, new starts. And the Knight of Swords, harsh truths coming forward. The base of the pack is the Tower. The 9 of Swords is anxiety. And the 7 of Pentacles is money, not having sufficient money to carry something out. I feel this has got to do with, what has this got to do? Let's see the Justice card, because the Tarot will skip ahead, ultimately saying that there will be new starts, that justice is coming. There is a harsh truth here that will be revealed. Show me this Justice card as to why he is going to cut this funding. Two of Cups, a deal he's done with somebody else, and endings and beginnings across the world. And the Ace of Pentacles, new income sources. It appears to me that he may not be acting alone on this. So I'm going to ask, is this we know that Putin has long waged a battle against the UN, against the WHO, I guess, not so much the WHO, but science in general, American science in general. This is undermining a fairly significant structure, which is why it is quite dangerous. So, who's he acting with? What's going on here? There's something else here. If it's nothing to do with Putin, it may have to do with like a corporatization of health, global health. That's what I'm thinking. This is the more sinister reason here. Show me, is this a global push to reduce the WHO's power in I guess to bolster other health industry, pharmaceutical industry, corporate health? Is this weakening public health and promoting corporate health influence across the world? That's it. That's what it is. That's a yes card. So what I'm feeling here, and this is an important reading, so I'm going to let it stand. If I don't get to the other things, then we don't. The WHO is a publicly funded. It is there for the good of the world, of all countries. It is health has no borders. It seems to me that he is using this pandemic to almost weaken independent public organisations like the WHO, and then others will get a step up. Yeah, it's a deal he's done with somebody. That's what I feel. Yeah. Here we've got the Knight of Swords, the harsh truth. I did feel there was something else other than what we were seeing. The Eight of Pentacles, money in, money out. Yeah, this now. How I'll ask if he's directly benefiting from this. What is crowning this is restricting the WHO. I feel the King of Swords. It's time in the immediate future that we got very objective about why Trump, who has shown us the caliber of him, of the man, of the businessman, why we should be automatically very objective about what he does, key decisions that he makes. That's suggesting an investigation here. We do have strength and endurance, so I'm really happy to see the strength and endurance card, but we do have illusion and delusion, which is undermining our strength. Let me be very clear on that, undermining our strength. Illusion, delusion, so that we can't make the right choice. And this is what he does. And it's not just him, it's other leaders as well. They throw these things out. They connect with you at an emotional level. And then the reasons that the other reasons remain hidden in the cupboard, and of course we can't make a sound choice about things. So, like sheep, we get herded in a particular direction that they want us to go in. The hopes and fears is the karmic wheel here, so I don't think it's going to wash. We've got the Ten of Swords. These cards have taken a fairly deep turn midway through this reading to tell me that he's not going to. It is to suppress information, and as I said, this public health information. It is a plan that matures in time. Let's see what's on the base. Yeah, the Three of Pentacles, working with somebody else. Here's my Russian card. It's the privatization, it's the commercialization of global health. But we do have temperance and balance because quite frankly, these readings, I'm glad to see that card because they are exhausting to dig for the truth. We do have the Knight of Wands, so I feel these cards are taking a turn midway to show me that this won't be successful. So again, I'm happy to spend some time on this because this kind of informs the way that he's been handling this pandemic internally, domestically. It is the same kind of focus on commercialization, unfortunately. So where do we go from here, Spirit? Okay, will he be successful? Will he be successful in what he is trying to do? Will Trump? No. I heard a very, very strong no. Let's have a look at the cards. Will he be successful in what he's trying to do? Will he be successful in what he's trying to do? People are concerned about their safety. No, the Four of Cups is showing that he won't be successful. That is disappointment. That is loss in a way. Yeah, because the challenge is the King of Cups. In the midst of all this, we had Obama endorse Biden. We had Sanders endorse Biden. We had Warren endorse Biden. We have the Democrats now uniting to push through to November, the November election. The Six of Pentacles is the foundation of the reading. I'm really pleased to see that. Nobody wants to see third world country help withdrawn in the midst of a global pandemic. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So if you're in favour of withdrawing who's funding, then you're in favour of withdrawing aid from countries that need it. You're in favour of a non-global response to this virus. In the past, we have the Two of Cups. That's unity. Something has occurred here. We are, though, weary, and that has to be acknowledged. But, evil prospers when good people do nothing, basically. When you sit on the couch and surf the net and turn off from these very important questions. While you're doing that, the world changes. The Page of Swords, people, there is going to be plenty of dissenters against this within government. So the Page of Swords is the spy in the camp. It is the whistleblower, but it's also that truth that keeps hitting us. It's not going away. We keep becoming wise to what is going on. We do have the Nine of Cups in the here and the now. This is wish. This is the wish card. We're really hoping for a miracle because things are really tough with this Four of Swords, and particularly in America, things are very, very tough. We fear that money in politics, that this grab for power, the lobbyists, you name it, are going to be determining our future, not democracies. Something is coming to an inevitable close. That's the Judgment card. That's a no card as well. There is victory here. Victory round the corner, and of course we have our Six of Cups going back to a reunification with our higher selves. This King of Cups is in this reading fair and square. It tells me that there will be loss for Trump in the November election yet again. The Five of Cups is again lost, so it's telling me that it's not going to be successful. There is going to be surprise news around the King of Pentacles, which is my card for Trump. Something is going to be exposed. Some secret is going to be emerging before the election. Now, I've read on that before, and people say, look, why isn't he out of office yet? Well, it takes a lot to unseat a president, particularly when his own party control the Senate. But I always go back to the timeline, the Mueller investigation, the many, many jailings, prison sentences for so many people involved in his 2016 campaign, the impeachment, of course, and I can go on. The many investigations currently being held into Trump, and the many that will continue to be held. He's not a king nor an authoritarian leader that can be successful at this point in time, because otherwise we just wouldn't know. We wouldn't know about anything that he's doing. It would all be under the cloak of in the cloak of darkness. Okay, so keep your thoughts positive. Now's not the time to sit on the couch. Get your safety vest on and take notes really, and take action where you can. All right, so there's something occurring. There's some kind of major thing occurring, I think, for Trump before November. Spirit, can we have an indication what that might be? Okay, we've got the Queen of Wands. So this is my card for Democrats. This could be the building of voters. You saw what happened in Wisconsin. They just came out in masks and they installed a progressive Supreme Court justice in the state of Wisconsin, despite what is occurring with this virus. People are fairly motivated. All right, so what is this blockbuster here that could be occurring? Is there something that will occur before the election to remove Donald Trump? Is there something that will occur before the November election to remove Donald Trump? Eight of Pentacles. It would take a lot of work, but that's also money in, money out. It's challenged by disappointment. So it's this continual hard work that it keeps that is undergoing, that we're putting in at every turn, but we keep getting disappointed. They're the signifier cards. But I do have the Empress, which is my card for Russia, so something to do with Russia is going to emerge. We do have the Wheel of Fortune, the karmic card, things changing. So this stuck position where it's very difficult to get rid of this president, it's moving, it's continually moving and evolving. Crowning this reading is the Ten of Swords. So there is a low point for him. This card's coming up. There is a low point for Trump. I think he knows it and he's very anxious about it. There's high anxiety. We've got the Hanged Man, nothing moving forward. This is the virus here locking things down. This is absolutely the virus here showing in the present position. These are two very, very good cards to describe what is occurring now. Lockdown and the Chariot, things just occurring very, very, very quickly. The hopes and the fears, we've got the Tower, but that's also breaking of structures as well. The Seven of Pentacles, it's got to do with the economy. It's got to do with this virus. But it's also got to do with the way that he is, the Nine of Pentacles, his own personal wealth. And that's under review. So I'm going to the taxes. Could also be something to do with budgeting. Again, I got that feeling also with the World Health Organization that $500 million or almost $500 million may be needed to cover for something else. We've got the Death card and we've got the Seven of Swords. Of course, this is lies and deceit. But this is to me pointing to his relationship with Russia, because we've got the Justice card. Now, again, I pulled 4 aces on the Supreme Court hearing of his taxes. I'd like to think that prediction was correct, but it's very, very important. And as I said, there is a caution there. So I'm just going to ask again, because that seemed to point to something to do with money, either allocation of money that hasn't gone to where it should have gone to, or his own personal taxes, or both. This is something to do with money. So let's have a look at, is this the, I'm just going to ask again, is this his tax returns, the release of his tax returns? Is this the release of his tax returns? So I'm seeing the Knight. Yes. Yes, it is. That's the Fool card. That's New Starts. Here's our Queen of Cups. She has something to reveal. She's getting ready to reveal it. Page of Pentacles. Yes, it's something to do with money news, his own personal, something to do with his own personal finances. But it's only a page, which is kind of always cause for caution, because it's not a king. We do have the King of Cups in the background, though, in the past. Crowning this reading, the Ten of Pentacles, Trump Organisation. Six of Wands, victory as well in the immediate future. These are yes cards. Right now, though, we've got the things stalling, and we've got the virus. Okay, so the virus is there. Here's my Knight of Wands in the hope position. The Tower card. The Tower card. Oh, yes, here's our Seven of Pentacles, the review of his finances. Yeah, and the deceit, the lies and deceit. He's going to be caught out. There is going to be loss for him. The Six of Pentacles, of course, loans and debts. We've got the Five of Wands, also partisanship of the court itself, I think. The Five of Cups, loss, and finally we have the Democrats here, my card for the Democrats. I also want to talk about the devil energy, which is also at the base of the pack. Of course, we're getting used to seeing that devil energy coming through. But the positive side of the devil energy is that it exposes the weaknesses, and it gives you a chance and an opportunity to become stronger as a result of those weaknesses. So when we see that devil card, it holds tremendous power for change. It is a huge awakener for us. So we are moving. We are in the Tower moment. We do have the devil on us, but this is a huge, huge wake-up call. And to me, the wake-up call is to expose, total exposure of lies and, the lies, the deceit, the things that are hidden from our view, the illusions, the delusions, you name it, the lack of truth in our in politics. It's a huge exposure for all leaders, and we are starting to see the way that is undermining our national security. And it's hitting home in the worst way possible. So I'll finish off with defunding of the WHO would be exactly the wrong thing to do at this time. So I'm going to leave it there because this is quite a long reading. I know I never get through all my list, but I have to go the way that Spirit wants me to go, and the way that my intuition leads me through to bring out that information for you through that intuitive process. So thank you for tuning in. I will get to these readings when I can, so be patient with me. Thank you for your comments, and I do read them all, and thank you for your support of the channel. And, stay strong. Stay strong. Now's not the time to crumble into that weakness, because it's not going to be helpful at all. So thank you again, and I'll be back again with another reading soon.